The whole meeting to order. Let the record reflect it is Tuesday, September 15th, 2020 at 6:15 PM. The meeting is being conducted pursuant to Governor Pritzker's Disaster Proclamation and Public Act 101-0640, which amends requirements of the Open Meetings Act due to the COVID pandemic. Pursuant to the same, the village board finds that it would be impractical to conduct an in-person meeting with all members present. I would ask at this time that the elected officials confirm that they can hear one another. Trustee Berg.
I hear you.
Trustee Brady.
Here, can hear you.
Trustee Brennan.
I got you.
Trustee Galante.
Yes, I can.
Trustee Mueller.
I can hear you, Mike.
President Vandenberg. Clerk Therian.
I can hear you.
All the materials for this meeting are available on the village's website. We recommend the members of the public follow the agenda as posted. After members have spoken, I will afford public comment as follows. Once I, the chair, has a list of all public commenters, I will call on each person present at the meeting and afford them 6 minutes for their comment. The public was also provided the opportunity to submit a request until noon today by email at the clerk's office at tinleypark.org or by placing the written request in the drop box at the village hall to participate publicly via the telephone call at the relevant portion of the public meeting. And the public was provided the opportunity to submit written comments until noon today by emailing their public comments to the clerk's office at tinleypark.org or by placing their written comment in the drop box. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Berg.
Here.
Trustee Brady.
Here.
Trustee Brennan.
Here.
Trustee Galante.
Here.
Trustee Glatz.
Present.
Trustee Mueller.
Here.
President Vandenberg.
Thank you. Number 2, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the special committee of the whole meeting held on September 1st, 2020. Do I have a second?
I'll second it. This is Trustee Galante.
Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Berg.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Trustee Glatz.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 3, discuss Freedom Pond Landscape Enhancement Phase 2 projects. John?
Yes, sir. Thank you. This is for the Freedom Pond next phase of improvements. As you recall, back in 2017, the property began construction, which was for assisting MWRD requirements for the rainfall detention for downtown area. Right after the construction, if you recall, we had the MWRD improvements on 175th and Ridgeland, which had the large black overpass pipes that were in the right-of-way of that area, so that put us on hold for the continuance of that project. So we just rebuilt the scope for it and put it back out to bid, and we had 3 respondents: Integral Construction, Copenhagen, and Cardinal State. Our engineer's estimate was $229,000 to include with the scope. It's the installation of site-wide landscaping. We have a lookout deck and landscaping at the northerly corner, installation of a northeast corner landscaping and plaza that would connect to the sidewalk or multi-use path to be put in by the Cook County project later next year. Installation of northwest corner landscaping and plaza for connection to a future path, and the purchase of materials for future installations of the south plazas. Both of the south plazas are going to be wrapped into the scope for the Cook County project at 175th and Ridgeland. So we're going to be purchasing the materials so they match the other areas and putting them in storage until the project starts for that end. So as I said, engineer's estimate was $229,000. We're asking for committee and board approval to contract with Integral Construction out of Romeoville for $226,000, $226,320 and we have a $7,500 bid allowance in that contract.
Thanks, John. Any questions from the board? I'll make a motion to move the Freedom Pond Landscape Enhancement Phase 2 project to the village board for approval. I have a second.
I'll second the motion.
Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Burke.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Glatz.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Item 4, discuss 174th Street and 67th Court Site and Building Improvements Project. John, could you take that one, please?
Yes, sir, thank you. So this is for the construction and site and building improvements at 174th and 67th Court. If you recall, a few meetings ago, we approved an easement at the property on the south side of 174th. The site improvements, which include installation of a concrete utility pad for the transformer and switchgear, concrete curb and gutter, replacement of sidewalk, a perimeter fence installation around the switchgear and transformer, the electrical service installation that'll switch the adjacent facility from overhead to underground, and any of the landscape restoration that is needed. This was bid out, and we had a few bidders pick up the packets, but only one submit a bid, which is Utility Dynamics Corp. They are out of Oswego. Contract, or their bid proposal was $51,951.50. This is actually the company that is working on the site with some of the other utility installations, so we did see a little bit of a decrease in fees for mobilization, at least on this bid. So we're looking for the committee and board to approve the contract with Utility Dynamics.
Thanks. Any questions from the board? No? I'll make a motion to move it to the village board for approval. I have a second.
I'll second that.
Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Burke.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Brennan.
Yes.
Trustee Galante.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Glatz.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 5, discuss the following parking lot agreements. A, 17344 Oak Park Avenue, Elevated Enterprises, and B, 17358 Oak Park Avenue, Rubik's Inc. Kimberly, would you mind taking that?
Yes, thank you. So these properties are being talked together, although they're separate agreements because they're separate owners. The village entered into these access agreements with the property owners of 17344 and 17358 in September of 2000 as part of the village efforts to create public parking in this area. Through these 20-year lease agreements, the village was able to obtain the rights to use the area behind these commercial buildings to construct a municipal parking lot. This addressed a parking concern for metro users and downtown businesses. The village paid for all of the improvements, which included access from 173rd Place, Oak Park Avenue, and 68th Court, and the creation of over 80 parking spaces. These agreements are set to expire on October 11th, 2020. Therefore, staff had been working with the property owners over the past year to get these agreements renewed. The highlights of the access agreements are indicated in the report, but first, the exhibit you see ahead of you right now is what the current access design was created back in 2000. It's a 24-foot two-way drive aisle between what we commonly refer to as the tenant Primal Cut and Holsteins. Those are the two tenants that are occupying the building, and then the public safety building is directly behind it. So this has provided a access way between these properties as well as parking. This agreement is going to acknowledge that in the future, if any one of these property owners want to extend their existing patios, that they have the ability to do so. Specifically in the 17344 Oak Park Avenue access agreement, which is what we know as the tenant's Primal Cut space, they have the ability to reduce that configuration to a 20-foot southbound drive aisle during the life of the agreement, conditioned upon the owner paying for all those improvements related to the reconfiguration of the drive aisle including but not limited to the reconfiguration of the parking stalls west of that drive aisle. And this is what that would essentially look like if they were to reduce that drive aisle from 24 feet to 20 feet, which make it a one-way drive aisle. The reconfiguration is, again, on the cost of the individual wishing to do that. They've also, in this agreement, asked to have 3 tenant parking spaces dedicated for their tenants of the apartments, which is outlined in the agreement. The trash enclosure, excuse me, those are the 3 parking stalls that we are acknowledging in the agreement that will be signed and dedicated for those apartment dwelling units. And the green space outlines the existing trash enclosure that will be still utilized by both of these property owners, with their responsibility to remove all the rubbish and debris in the dumpster area, but the village will continue to maintain that trash enclosure, which is a common trash enclosure for both of these properties. Then that's the highlights of the first agreement. The second agreement, which is 17358 Oak Park Avenue, known as Holstein's, we maintained the original language in the agreement, essentially that the village will lease the portion of the property owner's lot in its current configuration. We will continue as a village to limit the parking in the municipal parking lot to 3 hours. At no time will it be designated as a commuter parking lot. We will, again, maintain the trash enclosure. We will continue to reserve 2 parking spaces for the owner's tenants, and the village will continue to reserve 20 spaces for the Holstein customers. This is another 20-year lease agreement, so this will extend out to 2040, of which we'll see where we're at that time. But this is what we were able to accomplish with having 2 separate property owners involved and coming to an agreement with the reconfiguration of the parking lot. Any questions? Yeah.
Thanks, Kimberly. Any questions? Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to move the parking agreements to the village board meeting for approval.
I'll second that motion.
Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Berg,
Yes.
Trustee Brady,
Yes.
Trustee Brennan,
Yes.
Trustee Galante,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Glatz.
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Kimberly, thanks for all the work you guys did on that. Motion carries. Item number 6. Discuss the following encroachment agreements, 17344 and 17358 Oak Park Avenue. Kimberly?
Thank you. Upon reviewing the access agreements with these 2 properties, we also acknowledged that there was an encroachment that we wanted to clear up. So recent surveys of both of these properties indicated that the front patios on Oak Park Avenue were actually encroaching within that right-of-way. The patio encroachment varies from about 3.5 feet to about 4 feet, with the 4.78 feet encroachment for an awning. The encroachment of the balconies vary from 3.7 feet to 3.9 feet. So these balconies have been existing for many years without any issue. The encroachment agreements essentially provide for a permanent acknowledgement of their existence and eliminates the village's liability for their use. It's been indicated that one of the tenants, Primal Cut, is looking to enclose their balcony in the future so they can have year-round use. In order to make the proposed improvement, it also would require this agreement to be in place. In summary, the main points of the encroachment agreement are as follows. Agreement provides a right to encroach upon the Oak Park Avenue right-of-way as long as the improvements do not impair the use of the right-of-way. And this encroachment rights granted shall terminate upon the damage or destruction of 50% or more of the replacement value of the building or other improvements which encroach upon the village's right-of-way. Essentially, if this building was to no longer exist, we would not allow a new building to encroach on our right-of-way. So this is just more of a legal document to acknowledge the encroachment and make sure the village is not liable. So this exhibit is done to show the encroachment for the Primal Cut, and then this exhibit shows the slight encroachment of the Holsteins.
Thanks, Kimberly. Any questions? Anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to move the encroachment agreements to the village board for approval.
We have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Trustee Berg,
Yes.
Trustee Brady,
Yes.
Trustee Brennan,
Yes.
Trustee Galante,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Glatz,
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Thanks, Kimberly. Motion carries.
Item number 7, I'd like to discuss amendment to certain provisions of the Tinley Park towing of motor vehicles ordinance. Chief Walsh, you there on the line? Can you walk us through this one, or did you want?
Absolutely. We're looking to amend or expand our towing offenses under our current ordinances. Right now, only certain offenses are mandatory toll, for example, DUI or more serious offenses. The amended ordinance will expand to include more offenses, including if you get non-insurance and you get in an accident with the injury, it's an automatic toll. And this toll will be a $500 administrative fee, plus any towing fees and storage fees. But the administrative fee would go to the village for all the costs incurred for us to file the paperwork and everything else. Currently, like I said, we're only towing for DUI. This new amended ordinance would also be for Class A misdemeanors and more serious traffic offenses, as well as people that are wanted on warrants or people arrested for felonies. We also have it for reckless driving and aggravated reckless driving. It would really help us get people off the street, because it's been my experience that when I was on the street, we would arrest somebody, they didn't care until we towed their car, and then they got concerned because it would be money out of their pocket, and it would help us get people to have their licenses how we need them and to drive how they need to. So hopefully we'll be able to expand and amend these ordinances.
Very good. Thanks, Chief.
Thanks. Any questions from the board?
Sounds good.
Anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion. I'll make a motion to move the amendment to certain provisions of the Tinley Park towing of motor vehicles ordinance to the village board for approval.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Trustee Mueller. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee Berg,
Yes.
Trustee Brady,
Yes.
Trustee Brennan,
Yes.
Trustee Galante,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Glatz,
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Thanks, Chief. Motion carried. Item 8, receive comments from the public. Deputy Clerk, is there any comments from the public, either in writing or in person or telephonically?
There were none for this meeting, sir.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to adjourn the special committee of the whole. I have a second.
Second?
Thank you, Bill. Madam Clerk, you please call the roll.
Trustee Berg,
Yes.
Trustee Brady,
Yes.
Trustee Brennan,
Yes.
Trustee Galante,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Glatz,
Yes.
Trustee Mueller.
Yes.
Motion carries. We are adjourned at 6:33 PM.